See if everybody can hear us now.
It is Friday. Ready to rock and roll. Testing, testing, testing. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're in with us today as we're ready to get this show started. Getting ready to make things happen this morning. And since they can hear us, we're ready to rock and roll. So, Joe, let's go ahead and start the show,
All right,
buddy.
give me 2 seconds to get back up to where I was.
Okay, that sounds good. We're ready to rock and roll Friday. The July 12th edition. We are here, loud and clear. Glad that you're with us. And it is a good day because if you ever feel silly, if you ever feel like you've done something stupid,
every day.
just
Every
think
day.
of Joe Biden. New York
Oh.
Post calls him the blunder of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how sad Joe Biden has become.
Sure. For sure.
Oh, yeah. So we're here to talk about that. Lots of news when it comes to him and how bad he was again last night. Joe, you just let me know when you're ready to start the show, and that's what we
I'm
will
getting all
do.
the links put back up.
Okay. I'm just looking at all the creepy, cringy whispering from Joe Biden last night, trying to make a point by whispering. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house, Eric Johnson with us today as well. Plus, we have Greyson Wood. Greyson Wood is back in. He was requested big time. He says he wants to focus on all truths
I love that.
in the 9 to 10 o'clock hour. All truths with Greyson Wood. He is in, and we're grateful that Greyson is coming in again. He was super popular last time he came in talking about citizenship and being a state national and the differences and money and no income tax. So we'll see if we touch upon a little bit of that again today because that hour went by super fast. So let's go ahead and start this big bad show. Welcome into canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house as well today. It is Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday, a conspiratory, a speculative Friday, and also just a smack dab in your face. The guy gets worse every time he's on air. Joe Biden type of Friday. So if you're feeling silly, if you ever do something stupid, just remember there's a guy breathing named Joe Biden who every time he gets in front of a mic says something or does something very stupid. We're going to get into all things Joe Biden, all things from last night. There was also a Missouri gubernatorial debate
There was.
without one of the candidates. Very interesting how that thing played out. Lizzie will do some of the focus, the breakdown from that. Trump's legal team says that they feel as if they're going to put out some evidence and show the groundwork for a reversing of the New York decision with Stormy Daniels, which is very, very interesting. We'll see where that's going. Also, I look forward to having him on. Greyson Wood. He was here before, one of our most popular guests. He's coming in during our 9 o'clock hour to speak all truths. Last time he was with us, as I just said a couple times ago, a couple moments ago, rather, he spoke about not having to pay any income tax and how he doesn't, and how his own police tell him he's fine in doing so. Secondly, state national, how to become one. Well, today he has some more options, some ideas for us right now. So we'll get into Greyson and see where that's going. But it is a Friday. We are ready to kickstart it, get it rocking. All right. I can't figure out why My gut still tells me the Democrats put Biden up there to ruin him, not help him. I felt all along it was to put him up there to help him, give him another, like a State of the Union speech, prime time billing. He knows that. Oh, and by the way, he admitted he had the questions. He had the effing questions in advance again. He even said, well, I've got my people that I need to call on here for, I mean, like, I got my list of people.
Oh,
I'm just like, okay. And he's like, well, let me go. And by the way, Fox News didn't get one question. So you see what's going on. He had the effing questions in advance, and he still looked like doo-doo last night.
he really did.
He was bad. He would get high, and then he'd get low, and then he'd whisper, and then he'd look around, and then he'd get angry, and then he'd have his proof of life, and then he'd come back down. I mean, the cognitive ability of that man is gone. It is gone, people. I feel the same way coming from Stephanie. So Biden hurt himself last night. More Democrats are coming out saying that he needs to be gone. We're not surprised by it. I figured they wouldn't put him up there last night to fail, but he did. His bar is so low. I mean, he was able to answer questions, but the problem is he didn't have to do it next to a true leader, a man like Donald Trump, who destroyed him in the debate. And he knew the questions in advance again, and he still screwed up. He had some of the biggest blunders the world has ever seen last night, ever. And this is the sitting president of the United States. The Kremlin says the world is watching Joe Biden blunder.
They really are.
The Kremlin says the world leaders are watching what's happening to America. Yeah, should you be concerned? Yeah, I laugh now because it's so bad, but that's Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Lizzie, thoughts from last night?
You know, everything you said, I agree with you. And last night I watched it with some new neighbors, and it was one of the funniest things I have done in a long time. Because like you and I and our listeners, we're very invested in the political process. These people aren't. And so they normally get together to watch, I don't know, The Bachelor, whatever. And instead, they had the TV up with the governor's race, and then they had the TV up talking about Joe Biden. And these are people that some of them admitted they hadn't voted in a long time. And their commentary about Joe Biden was hysterical. I mean, they were calling him a dumbass. They were talking about how he couldn't even hold his place, that he's just looking around, and then talking like how he just talks like this, and he just talks like this. And then he misquoted a lot of things, and he was wrong.
Marble mouth.
Yeah, marble mouth. That was one like that. I mean, it's terrible.
If last night was supposed to be another opportunity for Joe Biden to show that he really is good and just had a quote bad night, the big boy press conference did not work out in any sort of manner. It only showed us this, that Jill Biden, and Joe, you can show the picture. Jill Biden is what she has always been. And what she still is.
Yeah.
And for our listeners on the podcast, we show you our picture and what it says. It shows Jill Biden sitting on Joe's lap. It says, after all these years, Jill, she is still the babysitter.
Wow. But that is true. She
really
started
is.
off as the babysitter, and now she is the babysitter.
She morphed into the babysitter.
She really
for the older man.
For the older man. You know what? That's kind of, karma for her after what she did. And now she's still babysitting. But, I think she thinks it's worth it because she, by God, is the first lady and she loves it.
Oh, okay. So you saw what happened last night. If you didn't, I saw some of it. Then I went back and watched a lot of the clips. It was boring.
It was boring.
It was uneventful. I don't know. There really wasn't a lot of meat to it. Everybody's watching just to see what he's going to screw up. I mean, that's literally, it's like I'm watching and going, okay, is he going to screw this up? Is he going to screw that? Oh, he got through. Okay, maybe he's decent.
Well, and we found out last night, we've been wrong all along. The vice president isn't Kamala. It's Donald Trump.
Of course it is.
So just in case you guys were wondering, Donald Trump is the vice president, and that's got to be true because the president of the United States told us that.
Well, we have a compilation of all the mistakes, but we can go ahead and show. Did we save yeah, we did here. Is this the singular one for vice president?
No, this is the compilation.
No, the singular one. Do we have the singular one for vice president since Lizzie brought that one up?
We do.
Yeah, you can. Okay, here's one of the big blunders of the night. legitimately asked a serious question about his own vice president, Kamala Harris.
Earlier, you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
This concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you, everybody.
Listen to him.
Listen to him.
We're going to show the
Listen to him.
compilation. We'll go ahead and we'll start with the compilation then of all, and then we can talk individually about some of the things that happened. And when we show this compilation, you will see everything that's happened from the night. Joe Biden had like 4 or 5 different mistakes and everything else Lizzie just said. Here you go, and we'll see everything from Joe Biden last night.
With that, I'll take your questions. I've been given a list of people to call on here.
Oh.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. I love my staff, but they add things.
What?
They add things all the time. At the very end, I'm catching hell from my wife. Anyway, I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief, the chief of staff of the military, as well as the Secretary of Defense and our intelligence people, where the access to that market was enticing enough to get companies to come in because they had access to over 1 billion people in a market, not 1 billion, but a lot of people in the market. And so they were doing it. We're sitting around. This is where Kamala is so good as well. We're sitting around. More children are killed by a bullet than any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing?
You earlier explained confidence in your vice president.
Yes.
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump, would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you can win. Me. No one's saying that.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Thanks.
This ends tonight's press conference. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, there's about 7 or 8 things to break down from his speaking. My. For me, the Vice President Trump was his worst mistake in that compilation. By far. Asked about his own vice president, he speaks of Vice President Trump. By the way, the AP reporting, we love it when the AP reports, right? Lizzie say it, we love it.
We love it.
We love it. The AP reporting right now, Donald Trump has officially declined the offer to become Joe Biden's vice president. We got it officially here, okay?
Thank you for breaking that, because I was hoping
he has declined and said, no, I'm not accepting the offer to be Joe Biden's vice presidential pick.
That was a good choice, Donald.
What the hell is going through his mind?
Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden he said she at the end of it. I guess in his brain, he didn't even know what he said. And when he said that, it was like, give me a break there. And of course, several times then it's like, anyway. It's not a joke.
Oh my God. Oh, Troy said CNN said he did great. Okay. Really? Really? No, he didn't. Once again, the bar being so low.
That's right.
It is so low. We learn nothing new. He's struggling.
Big time.
He
Big time struggling.
is struggling.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do. I just, there's no way that can keep him, even though he was defiant. Eric Schmidt, senator from Missouri, U.S. senator, said it was clear to him that Joe Biden's running. He's going to be running.
Yeah.
And I went,
He did say that.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. He tweeted out. I'm like, no,
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he has some insights. We don't know. I don't know.
More Democrats came out and said he needs to go. It's like you're just hoping that he can get through. It's not like he's a leader. You're just like, okay, all right. We got grandma. We're walking her to the car. We hope she doesn't fall.
That's right.
We got great. We're gonna let's keep the walker moving. There we go. There, watch the grass. There we go. Get to the car. Okay, we got out of the car.
That was a great job that grandma got to the car. And that's how you're thinking about with Joe Biden. And that I saw that about Eric Schmidt. And, a lot of times he's right. He makes very good judgments in what he does. Maybe people are saying that. There, at least as we've said before earlier this week, he's going to get, at least due to monetary reasons, to the DNC.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe once he gets to the DNC, they don't have anybody. And I've said this earlier too. If you're a Democrat, I would just run him. And the reason I just run him, there's no one that can beat without major cheating. There isn't. There's nobody that can beat Donald Trump. So then you waste them. Even if it was a good candidate, they should just take this 4 years as a loss and amp up for 4 years from now. I don't want them to do that, but that's what I think they should do it if I was a Democrat.
CNN is a joke. They don't know what to do, according to Troy.
They
And then, of
don't know
course,
what to
he's
do.
struggling. The party's struggling, coming from Kevin Bidney says, you guys should have had the clip of Blinken, Austin, Sullivan, when Joe said VP Trump. It was priceless. I saw
Priceless.
but their face didn't move. Their facial expressions didn't.
They act like everything was fine.
And I was just like, oh, okay, there we go.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, of course, he starts ripping his staff.
Yeah.
What is that? I mean, just
That's
imagine
bad.
Biden against Trump once again. I mean, he's not running for president. I keep telling you, he's not running for president.
Well, people on the chat line disagree with
I
you.
know.
Some people are saying they're thinking it's getting too late and that he's going to double down because he really thinks he's going to win. I could see that. I've said from the beginning, I thought they'd run him, but the debate changed it. I thought, well, maybe they won't now. But I agree with Brenda. It's getting too late. Who are they going to put there? However, I mean, we haven't had the Black Swan event, I don't think.
Not yet.
We haven't. So maybe it could be someone else. I don't know, but that's sad that we're even talking about that because he made a complete fool of himself last night. And if CNN, who has been kind of bashing him, said he did a good job, they really are not creditable because there was nothing good about what he was doing last night. Not one thing.
He's not running for president. He's not running for president. I'm telling you, he's not.
Well, who do you think they're going to run?
I think it has to be Kamala.
Yeah.
And I don't know about a VP.
Right.
3 different picks for VP.
Yeah.
The guy is so bad. There's no way this country, and if he did and they cheated and he won, I mean, what would happen in this country? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I can't speak for others, but I can't get it in my head right now. Joe Biden actually running and winning when he is showing what he is showing. It is that bad. I mean,
right. Well, I think that they could run him or run anyone and then try to put across that, of course, they won, meaning the Democrats. We know for a fact they're not going to win in 2024 unless they cheat. But you know what? They did a trial run in 2020, which they did the whole pandemic and all of that. And people did not rise up like I think they thought they were going to. So say we get cheat again. Okay. Say they do it and Joe Biden wins. What happens? What are people really going to do? What are they going to do? March in the streets? Go start a revolution? What are they going to do?
Well, the Democrats have Kamala one way or the other. Well, it's as
they
the VP
do.
or as the main candidate. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say there's no way Joe Biden is going to be running. There's just no way. I mean, last night again was so bad. And
yeah,
I mean, you're not even watching for the normal reasons. You're watching for comedy. You're watching
that's right.
for shock value. You're watching as the rubberneck. You're watching as that car crash that took place as you're driving by. Everybody's just kind of like, look, that's what you're watching.
Right.
You're not watching to find out legitimate information. You're watching to see, can he get through it? Okay.
Yeah. And Pam's thinking it will be Kamala and then whatever the VP choice is. And she thinks it will be Newsom.
If Biden wins, we all go on family leave.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Well, that'd be great that we all go on family leave. But how do you get paid and how do you live in your house?
Yeah.
I don't know. My mortgage company's not going to stop coming after me if I don't pay my bills because I go on leave.
Yeah, this is just, and the mistakes with Biden last night, it wasn't just the mistakes that we showed in the compilation.
No.
Oh, yeah. Biden also in his NATO presser before he went in for the other presser. Did he start that late too?
Yeah, he started them both late. And I was confused at first. Which one is the presser? Which one is the one that came before that? Because it's just my opinion, but I thought they were purposely being confusing. Purposely. Didn't you? The press or whoever put this on, that they changed the time, then another time, then it was going to be late, then it was a pre-presser to the presser. How disorganized is that?
Well, it's Joe Biden-esque.
That's true.
We've seen that kind of thing happen. The biggest blunder, maybe one of the biggest blunders of Joe Biden's career, especially since he has written so many checks for a lot of zeros. I mean, a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Bigly.
Huge money. Dude freaking called Zelensky Putin to his face.
Right? To his face.
To his face.
Oh my gosh. That's ridiculous.
So this is NATO. Zelensky standing right next to Biden. Here it is. This is the guy Democrats say. There are Democrats who say, he's still our guy. He can still do it.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Look at his face.
We've got big President Putin. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Oh my God. Now that's huge
We've got big
mistake.
President Putin.
I want to hear it one more time, Joe, because I can't believe that he just did what he did.
I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We've got big President Putin. And now I want to...
And I don't think he noticed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't notice he did it. I thought it was somebody standing next to him that said, that's Zelensky. I don't even think he caught that he said that wrong. I don't know.
He must disappear fast.
Yes. I mean, that is so bad. But, somebody on the chat line saying, why he got it confused. Glenn's saying it is because Zelensky forgot to wear his high heels.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's a different height than he normally is. And he forgot his pearl earrings.
Robbie says it looks like a Dave Chappelle skit. It really does, because it's so damn funny and unfreaking believable. Every time he goes out in public, and we're not speaking in larger terms generally. We're exact. We say every time he speaks,
every time
something bad is happening, something embarrassing is being said, some sort of my God moment happens with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell did he just say?
What did he say?
Zelensky's like, okay, this is the dude that signs billions of dollars of checks to me, and he calls me Putin.
That's right.
And they're in a war. I mean, this isn't long ago. They're in a freaking war right now.
But Zelensky doesn't care. He's like, he can call me whatever he wants to call me. He can't even call me Trump. That man gives me billions of dollars.
So somebody had to tell him that he made the mistake.
I couldn't tell. I mean, some people on the chat line are saying that, yes, somebody told him, and other people are saying, no, he kind of remembered on his own. But regardless, I mean, it's like, I can't wrap this around my head that this is the leader of the free world, that this is really the joke being played on us. And we know the joke happened in 2020 when they tried to tell us he got more votes than Barack Obama. And they just prayed that our fear over wearing masks and all that overcame the fact that they were lying. And so they have been having to live the consequences to this joke and this big fiasco the whole time. And now here it is facing them. And it's backed normal Democrats who probably didn't understand what was going on into a corner. The plan and the script, they knew this is exactly how it was going to play out. So, and here we are, all sitting around laughing about this when really, it's really quite tragic and scary.
I see Democratic news sources saying that Joe Biden was so good last night that he now leads Trump in national polling.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't make it up. Literally, that's what they are saying
Mm-hmm. Mm.
that, to try to keep Joe Biden alive. That according to, Oh, it's to the NPR Marist poll. Never mind. Never mind. The most liberal publication and news outlet in America, if you want to call it news.
Mm-hmm.
That's who said it. So I just saw that come down. It was sent to me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. You got it.
Yeah. Well, and like Bindy's saying, and I'm going to call them catastrophic. I'm adding that in. Their catastrophic policies and agenda continue no matter what Joe says or does. He's just embarrassing some of them now, but them destroying the country is going just as they planned prior to 2020. Really, we know this has been going on for decades. So Barack Obama, who we talked about a lot yesterday and the day before, he is just smiling ear to ear because his plan to ruin this country is going just exactly as he planned. So he doesn't care what he says. He doesn't care.
You're talking about who again? Obama?
I'm talking about Obama.
But the other thing, and Obama did not deny this either. The reports are he knew what was going to happen. We said this yesterday, but it was verified as well yesterday after our show. Obama knew about the op-ed piece that George Clooney was going to release.
Yes, he knew ahead of time.
And he allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
People, Joe Biden is not running. He is not running for president. He will not make it. It's rigged when our president is not allowed to say it's rigged.
Well, and yesterday you said that, Vic, that you guessed, or one of us said it on the show, but I think it was you, Vic, that we knew that Obama would be the person that would have to give George Clooney permission to say that. And after the show, that's exactly what happened. Because we already know, and we can, it's no longer speculation that Obama and his regime is calling all the puppet shots here.
The other thing about the embarrassing things, he also said so many things that didn't make sense, like Xi Jinping. Try to make sense of this comment. I've had more time with Xi Jinping. I mean, I can deal with him. I'm like, what?
But you know what that is, don't you? You know why he said that? Because he is not supposed to say some of the shit he's saying. And we know that all of this isn't about Ukraine and Russia, and all that. It always points. I mean, Donald Trump tells us it always points back to China. So you know that really president, I don't even want to call him president.
Then don't.
Then don't. See, Eric is in the house and he says, I no longer have to call Joe Biden the president.
Well, Obama let Clooney say it, so he did it. We've shown you some of the funny, the unbelievable. Here's just the bizarre, confusing, talking about how he knows Xi Jinping better than anybody. Okay, here we go.
More time with Xi Jinping than any world leader has. Over 90 hours since being vice president all the way through, for real.
What?
And by the way, I handled all my notes. Clayton, I've spent more time with Xi Jinping than any world leader has.
What does that even mean?
Nobody knows.
Over 90 hours since being vice president all the way through, for real.
What?
For real.
And by the way, I handled all my notes.
Oh, good.
Clayton,
Glad to hear it.
For real.
He never gets anything right.
The Eric Johnson, and welcome. Happy Friday, Eric. Glad you're on the show. Good to have your vibe, your energy.
Yeah.
Did you see any of that last night?
I watch it all now. It's like reality TV for me.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird?
I don't even blame Biden. Can you turn my headphones up? Is that possible? Because I got to hear myself.
You're
so
living
good.
in
he's got to hear himself because it's so good. You hear that?
You're living in a time.
No, I don't blame him at all anymore. Look, here's the deal. The press is, I look at Biden like I looked at Milli Vanilli back in 1988.
Good point.
Milli Vanilli couldn't sing.
Mm-hmm.
But they still got pushed out there on stage to make as much cash as they could. The problem was,
don't forget my number.
Yeah. The problem is the audio engineer screwed everything up.
Yep.
The audio engineer is the staff for the president. The audio,
that's what he wants us to do.
That's right. The audio engineer are the guys that said, yeah, this debate's a good idea. Let's get him out there, roll his ass out there. These guys were chugging along at a 50-50 clip with Trump. They weren't winning states, but they weren't losing states either, right? And then some idiot in the White House said, yeah, we'll take your bet. Let's do a debate. So I look at Biden kind of the same way I look at other people that can't do the job. How many football coaches out there have pushed out a quarterback that couldn't do the job because of a strained shoulder or a bad leg? It's their fault. They're seeing something in someone for whatever reason that they think they can do the job and they can't. I don't blame Biden at all. Look, Biden won the delegates, people. He did. He's not looking at himself in the same mirror.
Mhm.
He's looking at himself like, I can beat Trump. This is personal to him.
Yeah,
Come
personal
on.
to
This
him.
is corn pop versus the golf course is what
But-
it is.
But we finally saw the first crack where he actually admitted when he said if somebody showed him that he had zero chance to win,
Yeah.
he would step away. And literally,
guess what?
There's speculation that somebody's going to show him he has.
Guess
zero
what?
shot
The
at winning.
polls still don't show it. I
Well,
don't care what anyone
It
says.
It depends on what polling you're.
Well, the margin of error are always the kind of thing where a person can say, I'm still in the margin of error here in Pennsylvania. What are you talking about, Arizona? I'm 3 points down. Well, I can beat that up.
But
Right?
but the other part about that, when you look at the numbers, the guy who's surging is Trump.
Is he?
Yeah, the numbers used to be more equal. Trump's the one who is gaining numbers.
Yeah.
And especially after the debate, and especially after last night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
for
just,
sure.
it's bizarre that the media, wow.
And
Watching the media like a big blanket came off the media, like, oh my God, who is this guy?
Uh-huh.
Joe Biden. But we've been seeing it since COVID.
That's right. We've been seeing it the whole time.
I didn't go to journalism school, but I feel like I'm smarter than a lot of, like, I
Yes,
could
you
actually,
are.
like,
You
I could
are.
actually write
yes,
an
you are.
editorialized piece that was more, down the middle than these guys.
Yes, you would. Yes, you are. All the way.
You know what I
around.
mean?
100%.
The first thing we did was like, and here's the other thing. He's not a good president.
No.
And these guys keep saying that the border, inflation, oil prices. I mean, you can just go down the damn list, pushing, sexualized content to our kids. What makes him a good president? What makes him anything of a good president?
Mhm.
That's the real story.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. You have Alzheimer's. I kind of feel sorry for you. Your face it's empty. We get it. You're not
Dark
supposed to
eye.
be there, but you won the delegates. You're a horrible president. I'm sorry, you just are. Unless you can tell me something, you brought oil prices down, the border is under control, kids are learning at a faster clip than,
Well, they tell
than
us he brought us all these
Japanese.
jobs, which he did not bring us these jobs.
No, this is the comeback of COVID. The kids that were in
It
their damn
won-
basement.
It 100% was, and they're not good paying jobs either.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just not. So Eric, did you see him? We just ran the clip. Did you see him
Yes.
call Zelensky Putin?
I about 100 times
the
I rewound
president,
it.
the president of Ukraine,
Yeah. I couldn't believe
Vladimir Putin.
that was low. That was one of his all-time lows.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't remember that he writes billions of dollars of checks to the man
Yeah.
that's standing right in front of him.
It's
I'm in the same boat though. And there's about 1 million times a day I go, yeah, we got to go talk to what's his name. I can't remember. I
I do that with my kids.
I
Call them different names.
yeah,
I do that too.
I try to give Biden as many cognitive passes as I can honestly give him. That's something I would do.
I think we all
Maybe
do
not to
a
that
certain
level.
extent.
Maybe it would be that's bad. That's almost like Jack Buck saying, and now the Hall of Fame catcher Yadier Molina for the Cubs.
Yeah,
Oh my
Right,
God, St.
right.
Louis would go nuts.
That's right. That's right.
Come on.
CNN and MSNBC saying he's had an excellent presidency, regardless of what he may be doing.
He hasn't.
Yeah, there's no
There's no
proof.
way. There's
He
no way.
hasn't.
He's not done one. Okay, name me one good thing he's done.
I'm
One. Eric, give me one good thing Joe Biden has done.
Democrats would say infrastructure.
no, that's what gave us 7.5% mortgage rates.
Right.
That's exactly the problem.
It is.
That's the problem.
I- But
Here's
wait
the deal. Here's how you do infrastructure. I should be running for president again.
You
Give
should.
me a
Why
phone
aren't
number.
you?
Somebody.
At the very least,
here's
run
how you
for
do it.
mayor.
Where do we find it?
Here's how you do it. You economic development is the first thing you do. We're not going to just take money that we don't have printed and put it over
Mhm.
here for a bunch of potholes.
Mhm.
What we're going to do is we're going to, over the next 10 years, we're going to figure out how to bring all boats up again
Yeah.
through lowering taxes, making more money in the economy, having manufacturing jobs. And then naturally we'll have money that we can go out and do infrastructure stuff and not have the economy destroyed underneath all of that stuff. Democrats, the general public is now starting to get a peek behind the curtain and what the wizard actually is.
That's right.
The wizard for Democrats is a bunch of spending morons. They don't understand the conflict of taking a dollar and overspending it and then figuring out, oh, well, why is capitalism going tits up?
Mhm.
You know,
That's right.
it's ridiculous to me. And I hope that the polls are right. I don't think they are.
Eric, how long does Biden last? What
did I say last time? That he's
done.
not going to make it?
I
Did
said
I
he's
say
done.
that he's not going to make it last time?
Yeah,
I said it was going
We
to
all
be
did.
Obama.
Yeah.
We all did that,
Michelle
but
coming
then-
in.
Yeah.
We all
Said
said
that.
it.
He's there for the long haul.
Yeah, and so now, and see, I keep
You've changed.
vacillating too.
You think
I
he
keep
is.
going
I-
back.
I-
I think he is too.
I saw this is way too much blood underneath of this scab if they rip it off. There's no way that half of the Democratic Party isn't going to be pissed off that they took an elderly gentleman who's been doing a fantastic job for the Democrat. I'm telling you, there would be a war that made 1968 look like a backyard party at Lizzie's house. I'm telling you, it would be bad.
yeah. What? And
I see it differently.
Really?
Yes. Like you have a moment to go where Joe hands the torch over. Yes, Joe hands it over.
I don't think he's
and-
gonna.
I know it seems like that, but last night when he said if somebody could show me at 0%, he would look at it. Or
He did say that.
And that
He
I
did
was like,
say that.
okay, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, but you can't do it on the margins. This needs to be, Mr. President, here's the polls from ABC, Ipsos, NBC, Fox. Look, you're losing all 50 states. Oh, but if we put Kamala in there, look, she wins the presidency. Here's the same polling. This is the problem, is you got Joe losing. Joe's down 2 points. Kamala might be down 3. So you're still in that weird margin of error.
That's right.
And it's like, I can make that up. Yeah, there's no way that a competitive guy like Joe Biden, who has been living, breathing, sleeping politics since 1972 or whatever it is, 50 years, saying this is how I breathe. I breathe by running for elections. Doesn't matter that you don't think that you have dementia or Alzheimer's or now Parkinson's disease. Right?
Yeah.
So he is thinking to himself, what is going on here? Why is everybody saying I need to leave the race? And he's not going home and reflecting on it in his study.
Yeah.
He's not going home and go, man, I really should leave the race. I'm cognitively impaired.
I don't think he's thinking
He's
that
not
at
doing
all.
that at all.
No.
Joe and his son are getting together over burgers in the kitchen going, you're doing a great job, Dad. Don't screw this up.
That's right. Well, and we know that Hunter Biden wants him to stay in because he's somewhat protected when that happens.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
So of course that's the case. And there's so much money that
Chief of Staff, Hunter Biden.
Oh, could you imagine?
He is that right now.
I guarantee it. I
That is
guarantee it.
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
That
You
would
guys are
be
right.
breaking news. If someone could break that news, why is Hunter going into meetings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not
Yeah.
good. And these guys have look, here's why it's when they say that Hunter is not getting fed documents that are classified. This is why we have proof that your press secretaries have been lying to us now going on 2 or 3 years, right? It's like everything that she says out of that binder is a lie. They say that he's cognitively not impaired. We can see it with our own eyes.
Right.
We can hear professionals talking about it. They're lying to you. They're lying about the border to your face.
To your face.
They're lying your face about the border. Why should we believe anything else you say to us?
He is such a weak man. I can't believe there are any Democrats that would legitimately go, yeah, he's good. You're talking about a man who was asked during the presser last night at the end of his presser because he had already screwed up and called Donald Trump the vice president, his vice president.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the press corps is asking him in the press conference.
Yeah.
I've never seen this happen ever.
Yeah.
Where then the last question was a press corps member saying, Donald Trump is already making fun of you and using your mistake of calling him the vice president against you. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he said, well, listen to him.
Listen. What does that mean? Is it supposed to be sarcastic? Are we supposed to listen to him?
Sitting president, free world, who just had a terrible, I mean, you don't have those monumental mistakes
Yeah.
and then call it a good press conference.
No.
You can't.
No. But that's him.
Yeah.
His brain is working like it has always worked to him.
To him. That's right. He doesn't think
Yeah.
he's different. He really doesn't. People with dementia don't think there's a problem. They're almost
Yeah.
like drug addicts.
Yeah.
The drug addict is the first person to think, I don't have any problems.
Right.
And so does dementia patients. They don't think
Like when
there's
you're
anything
drunk,
wrong.
do you know you're drunk? I guess you do.
Sometimes
I guess you do.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Not all the time. It's like when you
No.
get out of the car and the cop is going, "How many have you had to drink tonight?" And you go, 20 martinis.
Right.
But you feel like you can still drive the car.
Right.
That's what Biden's going through.
I think so.
He's like, I'm fine. I can drive this thing just fine. He doesn't know that he's drunk as hell.
Right. He
On
doesn't get it.
dementia.
On dementia.
Chris says, "Yeah, I'll take Joe meeting his maker or
Oh, damn.
or an irreversible political scheme that happens. He's the dim sacrificial lamb because they know 2024 is lost." I keep saying just get through 2024, but as soon as November 5th is over, start game planning for what the left will be throwing out for 2024.
That's what I've been saying.
Does anybody else besides me see the irony that this is the party of democracy?
Right.
Does anybody else in this room or on this chat line see that the irony is that they're trying to have an internal party coup?
Yeah.
That this is a
yeah.
coup.
Mhm.
Trying to get rid of a guy that doesn't want to go, that legally there's no 25th Amendment being pulled out of anyone's ass. That this is a coup saying,
Right.
how do we get him out? What do you mean? How do you get him out? He won the primary.
Right. Right.
This is the party of protecting democracy, right?
Right.
What the?
I know. And see, the reason why they can't pull him out right now is all this. It's money.
Yeah, they wouldn't
They
allow
can't pull
him
him out
but
yet
they wouldn't allow him to debate RFK Jr.
Right.
But then they allowed him to debate Donald Trump.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Think about that.
I mean, yeah, that's just so interesting for sure. Because RFK Jr. is liked by a lot of Democrats, even though the Democrats don't want him to be liked.
Yeah.
He just is.
Yeah. Trump used to go out on that podium in the press corps all the time, didn't he? I mean,
Yeah,
every day.
daily.
Wasn't it
Daily.
every day?
Every day. It was rare when he didn't.
And he would be there trying to answer questions about COVID. And then the dumbass media corps would throw other questions at him that just were completely rude,
yeah.
disrespectful. And then they feel like, well, why do we hate Trump so much? Because you guys were completely
doing it on purpose.
You didn't help him do his job.
Mm-hmm.
You were hurting him daily with Jim Acosta and
yes,
all the other people in the court. Look, part of this news cycle story is Trump's handlers this election cycle are really good.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from him. Have you the discipline in this campaign is unbelievable.
No, it really has been, but
right?
But it's been easy because the other guys messed up so much, and especially when it came to every time Joe Biden was out, he was making a blunder. And then, of course, the last 2 weeks has been a free for all for Donald Trump because everybody's blasting Joe Biden.
Yeah,
and with good reason. And it's his own teammates.
Yeah,
you like your analogies?
Oh man,
that's like Yachty.
Yeah.
Dropping a straight fastball down the middle and the run scores. And then he doesn't pick it up.
We're down
and then
by
another run comes and he's just standing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so the Republicans, and it's amazing to me. The Republicans haven't been 5-10 points up in these polls. That's the little bit of a scary thing to me. But Monday starts the convention.
Yeah.
So is it like 5 days of televised Republican?
It is.
And then he might have his pick for the vice president.
That could happen Monday night.
Yeah, it could happen Monday night.
As early as Monday night.
Do you think it will happen as early as Monday night?
I don't know. But Bill O'Reilly came out and said it's Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. Because look, he gets 2-3 more points from the Latino community. Right?
And I guess that would be the strategy, because otherwise I don't get it. Because Marco Rubio, most conservatives I know don't like him because it reminds them of Mike Pence, that he's still part of the swamp.
I think that the MAGA tsunami smashed into all of the rhinos real hard.
Yeah, they did.
And I think the rhinos saw Trump leaving office that day.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, good, we get to go back to being a rhino."
Right.
And they saw Vic. Man, the MAGA tsunami still can reach your ass.
I'm looking at our
Right.
chat line. Nobody likes Rubio.
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. I don't know one conservative. I don't know one. And if you are a conservative on the chat line and you like him, please tell me why.
Donna says Latinos love him.
Well, and so Eric, you hit the nail on the head then, because there has to be a reason, and why Donald Trump's probably just using the VP to get elected, not to use him after.
Well, here's part of the calculus. Trump if he's elected and he dies or whatever, or can't carry out, or he's convicted or what, they need someone that can literally take over the controls. When you get into an airplane, you want to know that if the pilot's gone, the co-pilot can land the damn thing. And Rubio can definitely do that.
Yeah, he can do it. Yeah, and Terry's saying she doesn't think Rubio is anything like Mike Pence. So that's and Terry's very smart. So that makes me feel better hearing that, because I don't know enough about Rubio one way or the other. I mean, he seems like a nice person, and he immediately after, when he was running against Donald Trump, got on the Trump train. I mean, he didn't continue to keep bashing him, so that was good.
I still think, I agree with you, Paul. Paul says, I still think we get blindsided by Donald Trump and his announcement.
I totally agree.
I see it. It is a speculatory Friday.
I hope
my
so.
new vice president, Nikki Haley.
No, it will. It's never Nikki. It won't be Nikki.
I agree with Lori. My new vice president.
Yeah.
You're gonna love him.
Yeah.
You're gonna love him.
My
Byron Donald.
Yeah.
woohoo, that would be beautiful.
Donny Osmond.
Donny Osmond. Yeah, Donny Osmond's been spending a lot of time in Fox, so maybe it could be
Oh
Donny
my
Osmond.
God. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Wouldn't
I
that
don't
be
know.
funny?
I
So
don't know.
someone-
Do you think
Don't
it's going to be somebody we absolutely don't guess? Or do you think it's going to be somebody we've been seeing?
I want to know the answer to this.
I do
I
too.
feel like he's missing the mark with getting a female. I really
You
think
think
that
he should get a
I
female?
think I think that it's kind of like the thing where it's like, if you have to frisk another female, if you're a cop,
Mhm.
you need to frisk a female, you go get another female cop to
Right,
frisk
you
the
do.
female.
You do.
I
Right.
do feel like that's where because there's a lot of amazing conservative women out
There really
there.
are. There are.
You know, I think what's her name, Kristi Noem, just absolutely blew the
Of course she did.
pooch.
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally.
Literally did
know?
that with the pooch.
Yeah.
She actually screwed herself. The minute she said that, I knew
Mhm.
she was done.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Done.
I think that plays well in whatever state she's in, but
Right.
not in Manhattan. You know,
No, no,
or-
and not in here,
Yeah.
middle Missouri either,
Yeah.
where you can be a Republican and a Democrat, and you can talk about your dogs.
Yeah.
That's a.
But if you put them on the roof of your car or shoot them,
yeah,
then you're in a little bit of
then
trouble.
you're done. You're done.
You don't want to say that.
Right.
No, she really did screw the pooch, Eric.
Yeah, it's
Literally.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the big question. Will it give the Republicans a bump? People hate the Republicans as much as they cannot understand what's going on with Biden. Make no bones
What do you mean
about it.
people hate?
There's a thing. I'm a watcher. I like the minutia of the stories that I'm actually watching. I look at
Yeah.
the polls. The polls just don't move. They are like in stone.
Mhm.
I mean, this isn't like people going, "Oh, well, this guy, we can't vote for this guy. He should be in a nursing home." And then the polls, bam, 15 points for the other guy. I mean, you could put a tomato against Trump, and the polls are not going to move that much.
And you know what you're saying is right. And if you live in the echo chamber of the conservative world,
Mhm.
we would disagree with you. But if you talk to the average American who is not politically savvy,
Yeah.
they're not in love with Donald Trump. They'll vote for him because they like his policies,
Yeah.
but they're not. Where if you got somebody else there that did all the same policies of Trump, and I like Trump, so
Yeah.
but this is not me talking. This is the average American. It would skyrocket.
Yeah, it comes down to human psychology, I think.
It does.
Because I've since 1987, one of my favorite bands has been King's X. You guys have no idea who they are.
I know who they
But
are.
every time I play King's X for somebody, they're like, "Yeah, that's, I don't know, over my head. Yeah, that's like," they don't like the band. And I'm like, how can you not like this band? To me, psychologically, I'm like, this is the best stuff I've ever heard written. And it's got groove, melody, harmony, the whole 9 yards. But to most people, they're like, I just kind of want to go listen to some Kaja Gugu again. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? That's what Trump
Is
is.
that Shiny Shy?
Yeah, it's too shy to
Shy
shy,
to
baby.
shy.
Too shy to shy.
Mhm.
But that's what Trump is. It's like, for me, I'm like, look at the policies this guy did. I get it. He's kind of a rough and gruff jerk,
Yeah.
but he won the game. He was winning for the American people, but people are having a hard time liking him. Like,
They are.
it's
and
not
they
just never
don't want
Trump.
to.
Yeah, it's never Trumpers in the Senate and the House. It's never Trumpers in Ladue
Right. Right.
and Chesterfield, and
Yeah, that's right. That's why we need to be grooming somebody that has the exact policies
Yeah.
of Donald Trump, but comes across differently. And I don't want people to think that I think anything Donald Trump did is wrong, but that's not real America. Real America wants some suave, good-looking guy about 45 saying everything Trump says, because we will see a different America if that happens. So I do think it's very important who we are grooming for 2028.
But I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think the vice president is going to be or necessarily going to be the best pick for president in 2028 if they're VP, because if they're VP under Donald Trump, they're not out in the limelight as much as somebody else, Ron DeSantis.
That's true.
Vivek Ramaswamy, two candidates who I don't think are going to be vice president. It'd be interesting if they were, but I don't think they are.
Well, hold on.
That I think would right out of the gate would be the two strongest candidates to run for Republican president in 2028.
I don't know about that because he put a lot of faith and effort into Pence for that COVID stuff. The COVID
He really
committee.
did. He put him right up there and he screwed him.
I do wonder if he was like, I have a real border czar now. His name is whoever, and he's going to go put the fence up. He's going to go make sure that nobody comes through this thing. And I would like to bring on my real border czar. And he walks him up to the podium. And he says, this guy's going to take care of business over the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And then he's in a much better position to hand the reins over, because this is the time he doesn't run again. He has to hand the reins over to someone else.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he does.
So he has to be playing chess right now and think 14 steps ahead.
Yeah, but those people are going to be more quiet because the man who's speaking is Donald Trump.
Right.
Where you have, if you're not in
a
cabinet position necessarily, where you can be doing a lot more speaking and campaigning. I don't know.
Well, and I think people in the chat line are saying, it could be, in 2028, it could be one of the Trump kids. I don't think so. I think once this is over, they want people, even good conservatives, want to close the chapter on the Trumps and find somebody like maybe Vivek or somebody like that.
Candace.
Yeah, Candace, somewhere else. And it's not that most conservatives I know really would like to see the Trump family carry on, but I think they understand what happens to the country if the Trumps keep going on. But you're right. It could be Candace Owens, somebody like Vivek. I mean, it could even be somebody of color.
I'm wondering about, like Matthew McConaughey. He's expressed interest, and he doesn't seem like he wants to be a congressman from Texas.
But isn't he a lefty?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
See, I can't tell. Sometimes I think he leans to the right, but I thought he was a liberal.
He seems more left to me, but with the way politics have gone, maybe it would push him back.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
I'm just talking about thinking about people that kind of pop out through the shadows.
That's true.
I mean, The Rock Johnson, whatever.
Yeah, he kind of blew that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like he's trying to mend himself a little bit.
No, he is losing followers. First of all, the Maui thing was really, really bad. And younger TikTok took him out because of the whole Maui situation.
Man, keep your mouth shut, I guess.
And doing callous infomercials asking for money with Oprah.
I think
that's not good.
If you're going to be a rock star, performer, or some celebrity, I think there needs to be like a person, like a Men in Black kind of thing, where they take you into a room and they give you the Dixie Chick lesson. And they show you what happens to the Dixie Chicks if you open your mouth against something.
Yeah.
Then you go irrelevant for a long time.
You do.
Because cancellation culture, when you can cancel the box office or your ticket sales, it's really bad. And I do agree with that, man.
Oh, Q is predicting JFK Jr. comes back.
Again?
Again. It is
Come on, man.
It is kind of resurfacing. And I thought they would latch on more. I thought Q would latch on more.
Terry calling up
RFK.
I'm sorry.
Who?
Terry was calling up Candace Owens.
Yeah, so Derek
and I didn't know a surprise out of the box pick.
No, I don't know.
But I watch Charlie Kirk stuff online now. Candace Owens, Vivek. These guys are
but Charlie's super, 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 super smart and super talented.
Correct, and so is Candace, and so is Ben Shapiro, and so these are
Ben Shapiro will never be president because people just can't stand his voice.
Yeah, just what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, he's very smart, but he just talks like this and do his nose, Eric.
Yeah, I know he's annoying as hell, but he is his
Good
recall of stuff is like a computer.
Oh, it is. He's really smart.
It's pretty damn fast,
and he can just really, really smack down fast.
So I think that you got Cori Bush now running the squad seems to be kind of dissipating.
Yeah,
the aspirin's working.
Let's hope.
Going away a little bit.
I think so.
And I always thought you needed someone to kind of come in and fill the void on the Republican side.
Yeah.
These new Republicans these kids, they're
wonderful.
pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I think they do a better job than the damn old rhinos do
Oh, for sure.
as far as espousing conservatism.
Yeah. I am the biggest proponent right now of taking our millennials and not necessarily grooming them. Maybe they're already smart that way, and get them to come up through the ranks, because we need some youth coming up that also are able to act presidential or act the way that people
I think
are supposed
acting
to.
presidential is going to be a thing of the past.
You're right.
The decorum of the office of presidency
Has changed.
is going to look a lot more like AOC in the next 10 years.
I think you're right.
Now that can be conservative or Democrat.
Yeah.
But like Byron Donaldson from Florida, he's a bomb thrower. He basically gets there and he'll mix it up with any of
Yes,
the
he
liberals.
will.
He'll mix it up. But I remember when we said this way back in the past, Republicans better start fighting fire with fire.
Absolutely.
Because you had a Mitch McConnell trying to go after an AOC. That didn't work.
I've seen more of it now. I
know. So have
I
I.
have too, and that's very refreshing.
I do too.
And it's the only way it'll even freaking work. This is cancelthisshow.com. A lot of national topics right there. Lizzie, before we get to Greyson Wood, I can't wait to talk to Greyson again. Fabulous guest. What do you think? Can you sum up the gubernatorial debate in the state of Missouri last night?
I can. It was pretty predictable. And a lot of our listeners watched it. You had 3 of the 4 main candidates that were there. Kehoe was not there, and he was with Andrew Bailey at a fundraiser that they already had set up prior to. So the only thing really anybody said bad about Kehoe was that he was no-show Kehoe. But you know what? That honestly doesn't concern me, because Eric Schmidt and Josh Hawley in their races didn't show up to debates, and they won. So let's put that aside. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I understand why he wasn't there. Now, the 3 that were there, they were very, very good. 2 of them were very predictable. I thought Bill Eigel was very predictable. I thought he did a good job. He's a great orator. He was, his talking points were primarily, I'm going to close the border and I'm going to deport every single person that has ever come to Missouri ever in the world. And then there was also the other thing that he said was personal property tax. So Bill Eigel wants to do the things I think that he's saying, but I think he also knows he can't do everything that he's saying, but they're really great talking points. And I think to Bill Eigel's credit, he had a very big crowd there yesterday. So whenever he said one of those talking points, people cheered and hoot and hollered. So that was good for him. Jay Ashcroft, he was there. I thought he didn't come across as good as Bill Eigel, because he isn't as good of an orator, but he actually came with facts instead of talking points. He could actually cite the law with the numbers. I don't know between the 2 of them if one was better than the other. I think the Bill Eigel people are still happy with Bill Eigel. I think the Jay Ashcroft people are still happy with Jay Ashcroft. Yeah. So I don't think it moved the needle. People are going to disagree with me, but I don't think Kehoe not being there was really that big of a deal, because they were primarily Ashcroft and probably more Bill Eigel people. So they were going to hate him anyway. The surprise of the night to me was Chris Wright.
Who?
Chris Wright. Exactly. Like, who the hell is that? He killed it in a very quirky way. Never heard of the guy before, other than when the debate was coming. He spent 20 some odd years in the military. And then he also is a police officer right now. And he was funny as hell. Yeah. His microphone didn't work, so everybody had to keep passing the microphone down. He made it funny. I can't remember, it was Bill Eigel, or I think it might have been Jay Ashcroft, kind of spit on the microphone, and they had to share the microphone, and he would make a joke about, suffering succotash, like with the spit of the microphone. He was funny as hell. And he would be considered the most grassroots of everyone, because Bill Eigel calls himself grassroots, but let's be honest, he's not. He's been in the Senate for 8 years. Jay Ashcroft couldn't vote on things because he was Secretary of the State, but he's not grassroots either. This Chris Wright isn't going to win, but I think if he stays with it, we might see him later. He was the surprise of the night for me. He was very articulate in a funny way, and was very self-deprecating, that made himself very likable. Yeah. So that was my rundown.
All
It
right.
seems like
I like it.
That's that keyhole. I always wondered this: if the new strategy in debating is to not show up, it kind of puts you on that weird pedestal
Yes.
above everything.
Correct. And I think I don't think Kehoe this time did that on purpose, just snubbed people. People are going to say he snubbed people. But I know for a fact he was at a fundraiser last night. And that was one of the things that Bill Eigel said. Hey, he was here in St. Louis. I saw him at a gas station. So basically why he snubbed us. But that's all you could have said about him now is because they really didn't bash him. They talked about China land a little bit, but they didn't say that much because Bill Eigel also voted that way. So you can only say that when you're not on a debate stand.
Yeah.
So I don't think it hurt. I mean, people might disagree with me, but it didn't hurt Kehoe one bit that he wasn't there.
Well, we'll see where it continues to go.
But
Appreciate
watch
it,
Chris
Lizzie.
Wright. He was very interesting.
All right.
Very endearing.
Yeah, see if there's something else for him too. You never know.
Maybe
even
later on.
something
Maybe he'll get
down
somebody's
the
campaign.
road.
I liked him a lot.
Excellent job, Lizzie.
As long as Wesley Bell takes out Corey Bush. That's
Right. That's exactly
the main job.
That's the main job right now.
This is
That's right.
cancelthisshow.com. That was Eric Johnson, Lizzie Sparks, Vic Faust, Pro Joe in the house. Can we have a proof of life shot, or did you even bring your camera today? Because I want to see a proof. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Our proof. Joe Biden is always giving proof of lives.
I'm alive.
We've got our Pro Joe taking care of business.
This Joe's alive too.
I'm excited to bring in our next guest. He rocked the first time he was in. Eric, were you here the first time
Yes.
for Greyson?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not only does he have one of the best shots in the history of podcasting, but he's also absolutely so super entertaining when it comes to all truths. Last time we talked about state nationalism. We talked about not paying taxes, or at least income taxes. And today we've got Greyson focusing on all truths. And Grayson's been joining us this morning. Grayson, your shot from the Ozarks looks absolutely amazing today. You're all backlit too. Did your wife do that with the sun? She knows how to do that?
No, no, she does the gardening around here though.
It's got a natural
Love
key
it.
light.
People got excited. You were on the last time with us, and we were bombarded. Get Greyson back on. When can we have Greyson back on? Let's hear Greyson talk. So we reached back out to you, albeit yesterday. We wanted to catch back up with you. A lot of things have happened from a political standpoint, but where did you want to go on our journey this morning?
Well, I was listening to you all talk, and I can see it from a different point of view than you all are talking about. And I'm looking at it as, if you were wanting to have a one world government, which we know that's what they're shooting for, and you have a couple countries that are just, way too independent, you're going to have to sway them, because you can't push too hard on the United States. They'll buck you and shoot you down. We're still that pioneer group of mindset. But if you're trying to do that, here's what you do. You get everybody to fight against each other and take each other down to a manageable amount. Then you come in and take over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do that, then you have to have the Hegelian dialectic, which is
What?
the Hegelian dialectic.
Okay, you're teaching me.
Hegelian dialectic is you have a problem, a reaction, and solution. And if you put these in play, and every time the solution comes up, the solution is less rights. And that's if you take a look back at all the presidents. I mean, look, I think Trump did a great job. I love his savvy when it comes to finances and all that, and the way he talks to other country leaders. And he puts everybody in the right perspective. But the guy, I don't believe he's playing for our team. I believe he's playing for the New World Order team.
Yeah, but you have Biden and Obama and Valerie Jarrett and Soros. They're definitely playing for the New World Order team, and it's too late. It's too late in the game to even talk about getting someone in there that's like, no. I mean, but then it kind of goes against the grain if he's like, make America great again, make America first,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing all these policies that are like shutting borders down, tariffs here, bringing up manufacturing, being very cognizant of what car manufacturers are going over to Mexico. So that is positive, right?
Sure, but let me ask you this. If you wanted to get the masses following you, what are you going to do? You're going to tell them what they want to hear. You're going to tell them what's on their mind. You're going to the people are going to look at that person like they're safe.
You're right. But here's the deal. And I think I'm in the same boat as you. I agree with what you're saying. But I'm also a business owner. And I realize that no matter what, we are now doing commerce over international borders.
Sure.
And so when people get freaked out about this new world order thing, we have to have some new world laws because we're all doing Shopify accounts, basically buying stuff from China, selling it to our neighbors in, our backyard. And that's the little stuff. And that doesn't include so we are all, we are the borders are being kind of crafted right now, the European guys versus the, Indo-Pacific guys. So you have to, as a spectator, you do have to acknowledge that a little bit.
Well, when in 1954, the head of the CIA came out and said this publicly. He said, "Don't be fooled. Presidents are selected, not elected." Now, and if you look back at all the presidencies, all right, just look back at Trump's presidency. All right, look, I was with all of his policies, still am. I think they're great policies.
Okay.
But you take a look, and what did he do? He signed in $6.2 trillion of debt.
And there was a reason for that, but go ahead.
Does anybody know just how much $1 trillion is? I mean, come on, you can't pay it back, which is the point. They don't want to pay it back. If you're the Federal Reserve, you've got this deal. It's like this. All right, I make the money. I'm going to loan you $1. Now you owe me $2. Where are you going to get that other $1 from?
But you had the Senate, and you had Schumer and Nancy Pelosi coming into the Oval Office trying to negotiate deals, saying you won't get X if you don't sign B. So there's a lot of weird dynamics that you're talking about that I agree with. I don't think I totally. Yeah, I know we're definitely printing money, and we're making the value of the dollar go down day by day. But when you are the president, when you're Trump, you have to say, well, if I want to get some kind of some kind of thing with the border, I better sign Nancy and Schumer's little bill over here. You know what I mean? So that's just playing the game.
Quid pro quo and all that.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is that it's not that small of a palette. It's a broad brush stroke. And that broad brush stroke, if you think about it, I think last time I was on here, we talked about the Rockefeller Foundation and their think tank, and how they came up with the COVID I can't remember the name of the see, I do the same thing Biden does. We all do it.
We all do it. Yeah.
But it was called, well, let's move along. The COVID had the whole idea of COVID was put in a scenario by the Rockefeller Foundation back in 1968. It's Lockstep is the name of the scenario. If you look up Lockstep, you'll find that everything that they've done with COVID was right in step with this thing, and it still is. And it was a matter of bringing in people who would grab power, and they've grabbed power and they're not giving it back. And Trump's going to grab power. Everybody's going to be behind him. It's just like I ain't calling Trump the Antichrist or nothing like that. I don't believe that for an instant. But they're going to follow him. And what if he just says, all right, I got enough? And if everybody's going to follow him to the point that if he decided to go straight to hell, they're going to follow him there. And I get that. I would like to follow the guy, but I already know that it's a larger, it's larger than that. You've got Klaus Schwab, who stepped down, handed this over to his second in line, was even more evil than Klaus Schwab. But this is all a world order taking over, world government.
Okay, so Greyson, you're saying that in 2016, Trump was selected, and then 2020, Joe Biden was selected, and then now 2024, it's going to be Trump or Biden, or who do you think?
Well, that's in 16. Let's say before that, you had Obama solidified the left. I mean, the left came together in droves under Obama. Under Trump, the right came together in droves under Trump. Then you put Obama back in, which we call him Biden, but
That's right.
Obama's pulling the strings there. You can see that when he
Got that right.
All right, so you put Obama back in. But the thing of it is I don't think all it is it's a stage show for us. Now we're totally divided. We are because me as a conservative, I look and I hear these left people talking, and I don't understand how they can see something totally opposite of what I see.
Amen. That was my next question. How can you have the polls on this 50-50 at this point? It seems like human beings would be able to see something that's blue and everybody goes, that's blue, but it's not that way. Human beings in politics say, well, that blue sky. And then the Democrats say, well, actually that's a yellow sky. Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm seeing blue. Is anybody So I totally agree with what you're saying. It's unbelievable to me.
So how you going to get the people to do that? You're going to put leaders in there that they'll follow.
Right. And absolutely, for sure. We know that this whole world order has absolutely purposely divided us on race, schooling, color, politics. I mean, literally everything. Yeah. But I'm trying to wrap my head around the selection of people. I'm not saying that that's not true, because I don't believe the government whatsoever. I absolutely do think Joe Biden in 2020 was selected, because there's no way on God's green earth he won. He did not get more votes than Biden. That's why I really want to know what's coming up in 2024. And I think our listeners do too. Is this going to be Biden selected again, or are they going to select Trump? I mean, which one do you think?
Well, look at the outcomes of both. If you had, say, Trump wins, all right, that left is going to go berserk. The last time Trump was in, they tried shutting down cities just because of COVID. All right. Left is going to go nuts. Now, the conservatives, on the other hand, while they were going nuts, we sat back and watched.
We sure do. We have a habit of doing that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. The silent majority is too silent. And on the other hand, if Biden wins again, I think the right is still going to sit back and wait. You know,
I don't know. The right is doing things that we don't even see anymore. The right is they're renting U-Hauls and driving across the United States to different countries.
I love perspectives.
States.
I really do love perspectives. Yeah. It's difficult for me to jump in on the Trump, but I've also been schooled a certain way for my entire life.
Yeah.
I'm open to keeping open minds. So when you come up with this standpoint, Greyson, what advice do you really have for people then when it comes to getting involved in a political process at all?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's all for naught, why do it?
Yeah. You know, what about the local level?
Oh, local
state level.
Well, if you take a look at Agenda 21 comes all the way down to the local level, and you've got to have people in charge at the mayor or even you know, governor. These people got to be put in place in order for this thing to work. So I don't anybody in power doesn't get there unless they've got the okay from the uppers.
Well, and you can see that play out on like Agenda 21 and all of those things. Some of our listeners brought to our attention Project 2025, and they were mixing it with Agenda 21. What do you know about Project 2025, who Trump did not endorse, but a lot of conservatives are?
Well, I don't know anything about 2025, but you do have Agenda 2030.
Correct, you know? Which is different than Project 2025. Yep. And that is purposely being spinned by the Democrats to confuse the two. So you're very informed, and yet you don't know about Project 2025 either.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I've heard about it, but I've never heard any of the details on it.
It's put out by the Heritage Foundation, which people are led to believe is very, very conservative.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, on just the top level, it does. But when you read it, there's a lot of things Trump disagrees with.
So you can take a step back and go, so 2021 was when Trump came into office. This is what can you kind of overlay the two things, Trump coming in the office and how much of 2021 came to fruition?
You're talking about Agenda 21?
Agenda 21, sorry.
Well, they had to have a lot of money in order to start this thing. $6 trillion can go a long way to bringing in Agenda 21. Right now, we're just about in the middle of it. And by 2030, they're going to have zones that are zoned for animals, then buffer zones, and then everybody's going to live in these upright cities. You know that, and when you hear the word sustainable, that's part of Agenda 21. It's a big word in Agenda 21 when it's sustainable.
Yeah, that's a key word, right there.
Yeah, it's so well. It seems like the first time I heard New World Order was 1986.
You heard it that far back?
Yeah, I did. But
I heard it back in 1979. My had a cousin down in Tennessee that used to be a member of the John Birch Society, and everybody hears that name and they go, "Oh, what a whack job!"
Yes,
John Birch has been proven right after all these years.
Yeah, but you know what? Here, my question, and I'm sure there's stuff to this, all of this stuff. I feel like I'm a little bit more moronic right in the middle of all this stuff, but it's, when we saw Japanese products beating the crap out of American products back in the 80s, everybody was freaked out. But that was the New World Order, bringing stuff from other countries over to the United States, in which we invented. How much of this do you think is a little bit of paranoia, and it's just kind of the logical order of commerce in the world?
Well,
there's got to be a percentage in your mind that's going, all right, maybe this is being overanalyzed a little bit.
I don't believe there's anything as an accident, or coincidence. I don't believe that. But now when it comes to people, there's so much at stake with these elites. They're not going to make a mistake. And when you take a look around, and if you look at all this election and all the other stuff that's going around in the world, and then you say, all right, they don't make mistakes, what's really going on? Then you start asking the right questions. And then you start seeing a whole lot of different answers other than what you've been conditioned to believe. And conditioned what we have been.
Yeah.
Well, and so like when you're, say, watching Fox News or Newsmax or all that, and they're saying right now that the Democrats are just losing their mind and they feel backed in the corner, do you really think this is just all part of the script?
Well, what does it do? It makes everybody else on the home team go, we're winning, yay. And we've been conditioned to do that. Look at every sports team out there. Everybody loves that feeling. It's a endorphin release, Well, that's what it's doing. The majority right now is behind Trump. So what are you going to do for those people?
Let me ask you this.
You're going to make them feel good about themselves.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that there was a monkey wrench thrown in this whole Democratic plan, that they knew what they were doing? It started off with the indictments. It started off with convictions. It started off with keeping Joe Biden hidden from the general public. And they were just going to just go and win this election. Do you think that they were do you think there was a monkey wrench that kind of destroyed their entire plans?
No, I don't believe so. I believe they put Joe Biden in there for just this reason, that they're going to have Trump in there. And Trump is going to take control over a lot of different, not control over him, but he's going to bring a lot of other countries in line to where it's a free trade, and everybody's going to trade freely across the line. And there the New World Order sets right there at the doorstep. Everybody's equal.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, the WTO kind of was the beginning of all that stuff up in Seattle, and there's a lot of anarchists trying to stop it. I was there, and I never really understood what was going on, but I kind of get it now, is letting China in the WTO. Don't you think that that's really where the threat is coming from the China side? And
well, the elites say that China is their crowning achievement as far as the New World Order is supposed to look like.
Well, we know China is, whether you agree with everything you're saying or not, I think we can all agree that, because Donald Trump even said it, that China is going to be the number one problem for the United States, and it involves the whole world order. I mean, we need to keep looking at China, not Russia.
You got to have an enemy. You got to have an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the left, right. That's the Hegelian dialectic.
Yeah.
You got to have an enemy.
A push and pull.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can you have nationalism in a New World Order?
No,
not at all.
There's no way to have it.
World order that they're creating, this New World Order that they're creating, reads just like the Communist Manifesto.
Well, and look, speaking of nationalists, like here in St. Louis, Channel 4 went hard after Josh Hawley, which most conservatives really like, because he said he was a Christian nationalist. So, and the reason why it wasn't lost on me that the media did that, because the media is all in on the script of the whole world order, and they just lost their crap when Josh Hawley said he was a Christian nationalist, trying to make him some big bad villain, and that was just yesterday.
You said something just then, and I would love to, maybe you can answer it. How do again, you said that the media is in on this new world order thing.
I totally
How do
believe
you
that.
bring Vic, you were a part of this. Do they bring you into a conference room? But what is
they don't even know it.
They don't. But
follow the script.
Follow the script.
But see, you just
Follow
said
the
that
script.
there is a script that is being written.
Well, no,
by,
I mean, not necessarily there's a script being written, meaning just fall in line.
right. But that
This
isn't
is
that
how
what
we
the whole
do
world order is to fall in line? Isn't that what this is? I mean, I think we're supposed to, in the United States, it's hard for us to wrap our heads around the fact that we've been played this entire time. But if you look even all the way back to, a lot of Republicans loved old man Bush, and he was telling us about globalization and the whole world order in his speeches, and people just glazed right over it.
Right.
Grayson, how many times have you been called nuts, crazy, lunatic?
Never to my face. I carry a gun.
Amendment 2, baby.
Yeah.
A2.
Yeah.
I mean, because when we get into our grooves and we see things and how they work, I think people who vote Joe Biden and a lot of liberal policies have lost their freaking mind. So then I can only imagine if people hear you say, well, Donald Trump's, he's one of them. He's not an individual. He is a guy that's actually being selected for the job, and you guys got to take that. So I would assume that you'd probably hear pushback.
Well, I do on a lot of my subjects, that are true. I mean, there's some things that critical thinking is something I heard about 15 years ago. And I thought, well, what's critical thinking? Well, question everything. Well, what do you question when you hear something? Okay. It's like, what do you question? Well, question it. It's like this. All right. Dinosaurs, right? Everybody believes dinosaurs been around for millions of years, that they were extinct a million years ago. Well, there's no way to prove that. You don't prove that there was an ice age years ago. All you can do is hear what somebody's telling you. So you go look into it. And the word dinosaur and any bones like that have never, ever been found up until 1830. And it was found by two guys who had two different colleges, and now these things are so expensive. You can't even buy a dinosaur bone, and they've never found a dinosaur fully intact. So what do? You question it. You got to question it. All right, how can I see a real dinosaur bone? Well, they won't let you because it's hermetically sealed in a safe, so you can't see it. Everything else has just been built off of that. So now, if you're going to believe that because somebody said it, so I don't know. I can't tell you anything about the dinosaurs other than the fact is that I'm not going to take it as face value just because somebody of academia says so.
Where's Tabitha Hassel when we need it?
I know. See, I have to have dinosaurs being real. I do, and I've said this on the show several times, because if dinosaurs are not real, I've lied to every preschooler for 30 years.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
That's the first thing
dinosaurs are real.
When you walk into a classroom in kindergarten, the first thing you see is a globe.
Right.
And millions of years ago,
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, and Bindy's saying on the chat line, really, what difference does it make if dinosaurs existed or not? I guess I don't know.
That's not the point. The point is people lie to you, and they do
that's
it
for
at
sure.
an early age. This is they condition you to believe things that may or may not be true. And so when you get older, see, at that age, you don't question anything. You walk into kindergarten, it's fact. When that teacher opens their mouth, it's fact.
That's
all
right.
the way up until you start going, hey, wait a minute, there's something fishy about this.
This is fun, though. It's fun for us to talk about.
This is fun.
You mentioned globe.
Yeah.
Flat Earth. I'm looking at Eric because this is one that gets Eric going.
All right. I will say
this. And does it matter if we have a flat Earth or not?
Matters 100%.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
Right.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here you go. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was void and without shape. And darkness was upon the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the waters, and God said, "Let there be light." All right, what waters? The deep, dark waters that the Spirit of God moves upon. And God said, "Let there be light." And the first day was right there. Now he says he made a firmament to separate the waters from above from the waters below. What waters? The deep, dark waters that the Spirit of God moves upon. All right. Then it says he put a sun and the moon and the stars in that firmament. Put them in that firmament. All right. And it says it twice that he put them, two great lights and the stars in the firmament. What's the firmament? Well, if you go to Isaiah, it talks about that he spread out the heavens like a tent. Well, what's a tent look like? Yeah, it's flat on the bottom and basically curved on top, right? It's a house. So we've got to look. If you don't believe the Bible, that's okay. That's your prerogative. But if you do believe the Bible, then you've got to believe every bit of it. He didn't mince words with us, and he's not playing with our minds. He said that he compassed the waves to hold the mighty waves in with a cloud. Well, a cloud is also an ice, and there's a 200-foot ice wall that holds everything in. And they proved that in 1958 with Admiral Byrd when he went to the Antarctic with a whole armada of ships. And 2 airplanes crashed into where the firmament reaches the ground. I know this all sounds crazy, but here's the thing. As soon as he came back from there, all of the nations put together a treaty that no one goes to Antarctica. Now people go, "Oh, well, my grandma, she went and vacationed down there for a week in Antarctica." You know where she went? She went to Deception Island. It's just south of the Falkland Islands. Deception Island. So you got to question these things. So if you said, does it matter? Yes, it does matter. If you believe that you're spinning on a ball at 1,000 miles an hour going around the sun at 17,000 miles an hour, and the sun is going through the Milky Way at over 69,000 miles an hour, and the Milky Way is going through outer space, well, which is open space, at over 3 million miles an hour.
Okay.
How come the North Star is always where it's at? It's constant. They've been guiding ships across the ocean from that for thousands and thousands of years.
Well, where are the stars at?
Where the stars, they're in the firmament. Haven't you seen those?
I know about the firmament.
Laps? Huh?
I know.
I know about the firmament. I'm
The
looking
problem
at air.
is the aviators for the last 100 years now
Yeah,
are
did they
able
fly?
to. They're
Did
able
they
to
fly with their nose down to correct for the curvature?
No, because in relativity to the atmosphere, they don't have to worry about that. It's basically you. Every time I go up, I'm amazed in the evening hours how you can see the curvature of the Earth. It's complete, and I don't even fly that high.
You've got convex windows on airliners.
Well, I'm not in an air. I'm in a little Cessna, but it's but if you set a course for 2-1 and you kept going for many hours, you would eventually arrive back in the same place. And so I don't understand how you get underneath the flat Earth to get back to the same place.
Well, how come everybody's gone around, flown around the world? They go east to west. How come they've never gone north to south?
They do. Oh, sure they do. They go.
don't-
Well, I don't know if they go over the South Pole, but I do know that there's all kinds of airlines going over the North Pole.
All right, look at it this way. They say the curvature of the Earth is 8 inches squared per mile. So at 6 miles, you've got 16 feet of curvature. At about
It's too much calculus for me. I don't know about this, but I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, you can use math to do a lot of weird things, and I don't even know what. I mean, I don't know what the point of making a flat Earth actually is. I don't even understand what, unless we're like in the Truman
That's
Show.
a great question.
Because now you know what the creation of God looks like. And you know that God is right up on the other side of that firmament, and his spirit still moves upon the waters.
I do know that I've called
That's good. That is good.
I've called a few of my friends, and they live on the other side of the planet at night, and I'm in the day. So how does that happen?
Yeah,
Well,
that's something else.
Well, that happens because if you'll take a look at wintertime, the sun is way to the south, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you take a look from that point on where the sun is at the south and watch it until it's midsummer, you'll see that it moves across the sky towards the north. So what it's doing is it's taking a spiral. It's getting closer in towards the North Pole, and then it goes spiraling out again. Now, if we were on a planet, on a ball, we would wind up having the sun 12 hours on one side and 12 hours on the other side, but it doesn't happen that way. We get a certain amount of sunlight in the wintertime and a certain amount in the daytime on the summertime. So these two things don't work. They don't work for me. You know, and who's it? Copernicus is the one who, Copernicus, that's it. He's the one who was a sun worshiper and had to have the earth revolve around the sun, not the sun. I mean, the Bible talks about the sun being on its own circuit, right? And the moon.
Well, I believe the Bible. Here's the thing about the Bible.
And
I
Robert
think,
says it matters, Eric, because them are trying to hide our creator.
Yes, they are.
I feel like I'm on the Truman Show all of a sudden.
Yeah,
But I was the one going, well, you got to believe in science to get, so go get the vaccine. And I was the one to go, well, let's question science just a little bit here.
Mhm.
I think that science works out on the planetary stuff.
Well,
I really do.
Well, let's look at the science of the planetary system. All right, you're standing on Michigan shoreline. On a real clear day, you can see Chicago. That's 55 miles away. There should be 1,700 feet of curvature, but there's not. And then you have the weatherman say, well, this right here is it's a refractive mirage. Well, if it was a refractive mirage, it would be upside down, but it's not. They've had a guy that got on a boat, kept his camera on Chicago on a clear day, went all the way across there. It never moved. And the closer he got, you could still see the waves hitting the shore.
Well, I think using the Bible as your centerpiece for a flat Earth is the thing about the Bible is, and even God says these are parables because you little humans are too stupid.
There are parables, but
humans are
the creation of the universe. I don't know if that could possibly be a parable.
No, but I think that the
Parables
creation of the universe has
Some
a
of the Bible's
complexity.
parables.
The complexity of the creation of the universe is so overwhelming that your little brain cannot figure out what he's saying. It goes back to my analogy of the rat trying to explain how to fly a 747. You can see there's one there, but you have no clue what to do with it. And I think that the Bible, in its infinite wisdom, actually, that's how he communicates with us.
So you're saying
agree.
that God does mental acrobatics with us?
No.
Why would he give us what he calls the gospel is good news, and you can't understand it?
No,
well, because our brains are so.
The gray matter that we have is not big enough to understand
Correct.
the challenges of multi-dimensional realities and of
our arrogance keeps us from seeing the truth.
Maybe that's true. I don't know, but
if you simplify it down and just say, okay, this is what God said. Why did he say that? Why would he say that he stretches the heaven out like a tent? Why would he say he put the moon and stars and sun in?
Because I think that the time that the Bible was written is the amount of intellectual fortitude that some of these people might have had. Well, imagine trying to be the first ones to explain the Old Testament to people that lived back then. You would have to break it down. You really
think the people back then were stupid? They were smart.
I don't think they were.
They're smarter than us.
No, they were smarter than us,
probably.
But again, it comes down to the ability to perceive the things that I'm about to tell you.
Faith or no faith.
It really does boil down to faith or no faith. And
or believe it or don't, I mean.
Yeah. And have you ever noticed about the Bible? People are asking a lot of questions about the Bible. The Bible, in my opinion, is absolutely true. But have you noticed how it hits you different? So when you were 12 and it hit you different than when you might be 50.
Because it's alive.
But God never changed. That's right. Because the Bible is alive. So the Bible doesn't change, but we do. So therefore we see it, how it pertains to us right then.
Yeah. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There's nothing more straight down the line than that, right? He created the heavens and the earth.
Daddy, why is the sky blue? Because there's water on the other side of the firmament, son.
No.
Oh yes.
No, there's actually
well, all right,
there's a
let's go to the
scientific reason for that.
Then let's go to the flood. What did he say when he flooded? He opened up the waters from the deep, and he opened the windows of heaven and let the water pour in. Now, what are the windows of heaven? Well, heaven is called the firmament, and the firmament is called heaven. So he opened up the windows, and the water poured in, and that's what it says. And now, why did he stop the people that were building the Tower of Babel? Why did he stop them? Because they could have reached the firmament. Why not let them go if all they're going to do is float off into outer space? Because they were, see, back then, after the flood, everybody knew what the world looked, what God's creation looked like. And it was, they knew that there was a firmament.
We can't even figure out right now why there's the same type of pyramids in two different continents. We have no idea how to even answer that dumbass little question,
Well,
much less the secrets of.
And Greyson, by the way, I just want to thank you because you enjoy coming in, and you know that when you speak, you're speaking subjects and you're speaking matter that many people may not have heard or understand. And I appreciate, honest to God, you've got to have people like you who are willing to come in and have these conversations for topics like this to even go on. So obviously, thank you for your temperament with everything as well.
Are they going to take away my birthday?
Yeah, they are. They're taking away your birthday and adding a social security number with it. So, yep, they're taking away your birthday.
Well,
that's
here's
what they're doing.
I mean, I get a lot of conflicts over this, and a lot of people want to stop you from speaking because it's called cognitive dissonance. They don't want to change the way that they've believed all their life. And if they took a look at it, you think for 1 minute, when I first realized that the Bible was correct and it is a flat earth with a dome over it, well, how many people did I just run out and go tell? I didn't. I kind of went in the back room and go, hey, check this out, man. I got this thing. No, you don't. You don't do that. But when you finally come to,
have you ever been to Key West and you go to that little marker and it says you're about to hit the 1 mile mark and this is the end of the United States? Where's the 1 mile mark to the end of the world, I guess?
Well, what does it say in the Bible? It said that he put up that wall to hold in the mighty waves, and people back. Nobody.
Where are the people that have a concussion running into that thing? I'm sure there's a lot of people that have smashed their face on. Whoa, what the hell is this? You know what I mean?
1800s, a ship took off, and in the early 1900s, another ship did the same thing, and they went to circumnavigate the Antarctica. Now, the Earth is supposedly 24,000 miles around. Both of these ships logged over 60,000 miles till they came back to their point. Now, how do you do that when you're going around Antarctica, and Antarctica is supposed to be about the same size as America? How do you do that? These two ships did it. These are things they don't tell you.
Yeah.
This is science that is out there. And they also talk about, there is no, you can step outside. If you're in an airplane and you're in LA and you want to go to New York, and you got an airplane in New York that wants to go to LA. Well, if the world is spinning left to right, well, west to east. And now, hang on, don't see right there. You want to stop me because you. Now, the plane that takes off from New York, why don't he just hover right there at 1,000 miles an hour? That thing, LA is going to show up in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and the other plane has to go.
That's resistant principle.
Wait a minute.
Of flying.
And then you've got. Hang on, I'm gonna get that sun out of my eyes, out of your all's eyes. So now, you've got a plane taking off from LA. It's got to do the 1,000 miles an hour that the Earth is doing plus 500.
No, it's relative. It's relative to the wind speed. So you can actually go faster than walking speed.
Does
that make sense?
There's a pilot out there who they give it away. They
don't. That's my next question. Is there? You would have every FBO or flight base of operations around the United States going. That's the little secret room over there that all the pilots go in to talk about smashing into the end of the Earth, because that doesn't happen. There's lots of pilots that are able to chart courses around the world. Lots
Sure.
of pilots.
But do they hold their nose down at Mach 3? Just so, like that one pilot said, "What do you think I'm going to do? Adjust my course nose down every 6 seconds before the curvature of the Earth?" He goes, "No." Now, I have a friend of mine who was an instructor in the Navy, and he instructed people on how to shoot these missiles over 60 and 70 miles and over 100 miles if they wanted to. And what they did is they would shoot a laser to the target, and this missile would hit that target because of the laser. Let me ask you this: as 50, 60 miles, there's already 1,700 feet of curvature. How does that laser hit its target? Should be shooting off into outer space, shouldn't it? Because it's a straight line. And since when
but
does water...
the distance for a human, it's the same thing as like the distance of an ant. The ant is only going to be able to see the perspective that it can see in. And if an ant looks at 20
It still
feet
does
at
not
20
answer
miles. Oh, sure it does. Because the Earth is still big enough. The Earth is still big enough land-wise for a human.
It's got to be there, but it isn't when you shoot a laser over 60 miles an hour, 60 miles away. There's no curvature. And
No, there is. People like snipers, they have calculations for curvature of the Earth and wind.
All right, you're thinking about the Coriolis effect, right?
Absolutely.
Once that bullet leaves that barrel, right? Now it's not connected to the spin of the Earth. So that's why you have to really aim a little ahead of
the target. It's the same as a wind correction, though. It's the same as absolutely wind makes just as much an impact on the trajectory of a bullet as the curvature of the Earth. So there's two things that you're formulating there.
Here, well, one thing is there's no Coriolis effect because the Earth does not spin. If it was doing 1,000 miles an hour and I wanted to shoot a target 1,000 miles away, I'd have to aim almost 500 to 600 feet to the right.
Well, the Coriolis effect is more magnetic pole than it is of the curvature of the Earth. So
anyway, we're getting off topic here and just arguing.
Well, no. But this is the beauty of these kind of conversations, is that I have them all the damn time with people, but just on non-scientific observation.
I would like to give the information that I have, and after it's out there, then I'll hear your information. But I'm being interrupted before my information gets out there. And if anybody's listening wants to hear what I have to say, they're not getting the full effect of this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, please, we'll go on. We need the information.
Well, the information is God's creation. If you know what it is, then you know there is a creator. But the way it looks is we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And everything was created out of nothing. And then what did they do? Well, let's just go ahead with evolution. Evolution. There's no way that anybody has ever seen anything other than de-evolution. Everything tends to rot and go to it wears out. Nothing ever evolves.
Well, that's true. So you're talking about Darwinism,
sure.
and basic
the favored races.
Right. But natural selection, do you believe in natural selection? Where birds kind of morph and lose their wings and they turn into different things?
No, that would be was it microevolution or macroevolution? Microevolution means that the DNA would change and they would change it. They've never seen that.
What about this? I mean, Anglo-Saxon people in the upper parts of the world, and then you have African Americans who had a different pigmentation. Same people, but just they evolved to lose.
But they're still people. It's like you have a wolf evolves into a poodle. Well, it's still a dog. A wolf and a dog are the same thing. So, they don't change what they are.
What about our tailbone? I don't think humans need a tailbone, but we still have one.
I broke my tailbone once and it really hurt. And I thought the same thing at the same time.
What do we need this
thing
for?
I didn't need this tailbone.
Yeah.
That tailbone is connected to so many nerves and stuff that help you evacuate, if you know what I mean, your bowels to move and stuff. Those nerves are definitely
Well,
needed.
that
there.
evacuation hurt.
Well, I was told one time, it was like, if you want to know what evolution's about, look at the appendix, because it basically we needed it to survive millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, because our food was so corrupt that we needed something to filter it out. Now we don't have that problem, so now we can remove the organ altogether.
Our food is more corrupt now than it's ever been. But
Chemically speaking, but not by grains and rocks and filtering out that kind of stuff.
Those, and you still need your tonsils. I mean, your body functions better with your tonsils and your appendix. It's true.
I'm just saying. That's what I was told.
And this is what it is. Yeah, it's a talk. It's a conversation of ideas. And not everybody's always going to understand or agree. Or
trust me, Vic, these conversations have at the Lake of the Ozarks over a lot of beers.
I bet.
They last for 8 hours.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
Well, yeah, we talk politics all week long. And yes, we do, and love talking politics with Greyson. We're just switching up because it's a Friday. That's why we were talking about that
stuff.
That's why we were doing what we were doing today.
I love it.
Here's one for you, Eric. You like here it is. Who killed JFK?
Yeah, I want to know.
Okay, that one is different because there's no
I
way
want to
that
know.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Hey, how many of us have watched NCI or whatever this, and learned about blood spatter?
I look. Do you look at the JFK murder the same way that a lot of people are looking at Jeffrey Epstein? Like, wow, that's a mystery. It's like you see things that you're like, how did that happen? I look at a lot of. So I'm with you there. There's no way that he took 2 shots that were perfectly placed from with a 22 or whatever he was shooting.
Right. Our government did that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm with you on that.
It's even worse than that.
Okay, what is it?
Tell us. But I have an answer, and you can sit and watch it as I did over 150, 60 times. And it all came back to be the same thing. First off, I'm going to start off with the 13 original bloodlines of the Illuminati. They are real. They are true. Adam Weishaupt started that. All right. So now, one of the 13 original bloodlines is an Onassis. Now, the offshoots of that bloodline is Bouvier and Kennedy, and they were both married. Now, Kennedy, before he was killed, came out with a speech, and he was giving up those secret societies. You've heard the speech before, right? About the one where he said even a secret society is repulsive to a free nation. Anyway, he came out with that. Next thing you know, he's dead. And where's he dead? He died at the 33rd parallel in front of the first Masonic Lodge memorial. The first shot hit him low in the back of the neck, came out his throat. Yeah. All right. That one was the primary shooter. That bullet went through him, and this is what they call a magic bullet. It isn't a magic bullet. If you've seen the layout of the limousine, there's about an 8-inch space between the door and where Governor Connolly was sitting, right? And that's how the president got back to where he sat. Now that's 8 inches. Just think about it. It went through his neck, hit Connolly in the right shoulder, and then it came through there, hit him in his arm, and went and landed in his left leg. That ain't no magic bullet. It's just a matter of where was the seats at. Now,
the driver.
Do you think Donald Trump knows the truth about this?
You wouldn't believe how many people do now, because I put this out years ago, and then somebody else went and did a whole lot more analysis on it. But now, the first thing he does when he gets shot is he grabs himself like this. And you see Jackie looking at Connolly, because Connolly turns around. And she grabs a hold of his arm, Kennedy's arm, watching Connolly. Now, as soon as Connolly turns around, you watch Kennedy's head come off on the right side. And if you're watching close, they have close-ups and have magnified it and zoom. Now, this is a blood spatter. It is not an entrance wound. We know that what entrance wounds are small. Exit wounds are large, and this is a large exit wound. And you look at the blood spatter, and you follow the blood spatter back, and you go through his head. There's no way anybody on the street could have shot him, but you take a look at where Jackie's hand is, and it's right at the base of his left skull. And right there,
Mhm.
and in this Zoom, you watch smoke come out also of his head. There's no way that the smoke from a gun can come out of somebody's head if it's shot from for any distance. And then you see her
Yeah.
climb onto the back of the vehicle. And they say, oh, they were going out. She was going after a piece of his brain. Give me a break. She was above suspicion. That film had been doctored, and they prove it, and that it has been doctored. But what happened? She took that zip gun and threw it back to the guy that was supposed to be on the back of the vehicle. He wasn't back there. Then he ran up there, and he reaches up and grabs it, puts it behind the Continental package as she tells him to sit down. Now, what she did when she popped him was she grabbed him by the back of the neck and just pushed him down and went for the gun. She no more had any qualms about killing him than the man on the moon. And I read a biography on her, and all of her teachers said that she had the devil in her, not a playful little. Now wait a minute, that's not a playful kind of person. She
Right.
was mean, and she had the evil in her.
Jackie
Right?
O, you're talking
Jackie
about?
Onassis, yeah. Now, after she killed him, where did she go? She moved up the bloodline ladder, didn't she? She went up and became Onassis, and that put her in the highest bracket of the wealthy of all the world. Now you
I
say,
was
well,
with
how
one of
can
those
they do
women
this?
once.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
Maybe she was pissed about Marilyn Monroe.
Well,
Nope.
she could be pissed.
Well, that may have been a factor for her to go ahead and do what they asked her to do. But here's what was proven: all politicians realize that they can do whatever they want. They can kill you wherever they want, whenever they want, and by whomever they want. And that's why Connolly changed his story in the hospital. He got the hint, you know. And
Well,
that's
okay.
how powerful they are.
Okay, so let's bring what you just said up to today, because
Okay.
I was much younger. I didn't know about Jackie O. I heard that she was kind of heartless. Some of her kids even say that. So
Yes.
okay, say that you're right about all that, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, because I definitely
Just take a
believe
look at
the
the
murder
video.
didn't happen the way it said. But let's roll it to today.
Okay.
Jill Biden seems to me to be the Jackie O that you're saying. She seems really evil to me. We said earlier in the show.
Oh, you're
that
talking about Biden's wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about her? Because I think she babysit him back then. Now she still babysit him, and her and Hunter are doing anything to keep him in. Do you think she is as evil as Jackie O?
I would say they all are, because you have to take an oath. Remember I told you last time about David Crosby talking about the music business. You have to take an oath to get to where you're going to go, where you want to be. And I've got, other proofs other than that, personal proofs about that. But that's true. I mean, judges, doctors, lawyers, all these people that are very successful. Next time you see them, just look for black toenail polish. I know that sounds crazy. Anybody think I'm nuts yet?
No,
I don't.
It's all good.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so we're supposed to look for Jill to have black toes, toenails.
No, it was an analogy.
Okay.
That there are people out there who are into witchcraft, Satanists. They live, they breathe, and they're in high places. I mean, Sammy Davis Jr. What's that lady's name? Who had a car crash and got her head chopped off.
You talking the one with Ted Kennedy?
No, but Ted Kennedy, yeah, he got the point. He stopped messing with him.
Yeah, I
His
noticed he got
brothers
the point.
killed. Yeah, well, his brothers got killed. For the same thing. They were coming out against the cabal, and that's it. You can't do that. I mean, it's a written thing in Satanism and in their documents. If you become a Christian, you're going to be murdered. They'll kill you because you can't become a Christian. Well, John Kennedy became a Christian about a month or two before he was killed. And what he did was he came out and was telling about the cabal. And the reason he became a Christian is because Jackie Kennedy miscarried a kid that he was really looking forward to. And it shook him. And so he went to God. And then he came out with all the truth, and they killed him. And all these other things that they can talk about, go ahead. But you look at that video and you watch where her hand goes and where the blood spatter is. And
Yeah, I'm
if
going to
I
go back and watch that.
I
then.
will.
I am now too, because I totally believe that he was not killed the way they told us. And up until the point of seeing how I feel that Jill Biden is so evil, that makes sense, regardless of the reason why Jackie O killed him or not. She had to be pissed with all the cheating that was going on in Marilyn Monroe and all that kind
He
of
was
stuff.
pissed from the day she came out of the womb, man. She was evil, and that was that. You know,
Yeah, I
she
knew
was
one of those once, Grayson.
Yeah, I
knew
think
one
we
of
all know one of those.
landmark. They're called
Pit
landmarks.
Viper. Pit Viper.
Yeah, we all know one of them.
Well, anyway,
Oh my
true.
gosh.
Grayson, hey,
now I'm
Whoa.
looking at it.
will you come on again?
That was
Yeah,
good
I will.
stuff.
Now, here's the thing.
And I'll give you
There
more
are-
than a
there are
24-hour
things that
notice,
can
12-hour
be-
notice.
all this can be proved if you look up. All right, because I look at it and say no way, and I try to disprove it. And when I can't disprove it after years of doing it, then it's got to be the truth.
Okay,
You know?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. And I apologize
And-
to you because the only reason I'm so confrontational with him or anybody
I didn't
that's
think
like
you were
this,
You weren't
confrontational.
confrontational.
I ask questions, and if the person across from me gives me the answer, I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even think about that. So in my weird way, I'm looking for truth
Yeah,
to what
you
they're
always are.
saying
Sure.
that goes against what the truths that I know are. And
Right.
it's like when Truman went out the door in the Truman Show and he goes, I'm locked in the firmament,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Yes.
Now he knew, but that's what I'm looking for, Grayson, is I'm
They're
looking
telling
for
you
that.
every
I'm
day.
looking for that door.
They're telling you every day. How about that one movie where the guy went up into supposedly out of space and he winds up in the water? You know, he
Oh,
went,
the Interstellar.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do, they know? They know, and they
Movies just
have
show
to
us a
tell.
lot, Eric, in advance.
I know, man.
Before you leave, some of our listeners were asking about Anne Heche. Do you think she was murdered by the Illuminati or whoever?
Anne Heche. I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay. She's like a TV star,
Yeah, it
and she
was-
got in the car and like sped really fast, and then she ended up looking like she died. But then there was video after the fact that looked like
She was an
alive.
actress. Yeah, I mean, she was an actress. It was also with Paul Walker and others
Yeah.
when it came to
Right.
child sex
She's
exploitation.
involved in rescuing sex traffickers, though, is why I'm saying
And
that.
so is Chris Cornell.
That's right.
What about the Challenger disaster? All those pilots are alive and living by their own names.
Next, hey, by the way, can we have you on in 2 weeks and talk Challenger? Because this is one that was near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Because I brought this topic up and people laughed me out of here.
They can't laugh you out when the proof is right there. These people are right there on film.
All right, Grayson.
They're
Yeah,
dead.
I want to hear this.
Grayson, in 2 weeks, can we plan it for 2 weeks, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right,
Let's do it.
Grayson,
Let's do it.
we're
All
going
right.
to get out of here. We're going to
Now
let you
I'm gonna
go.
All right, I'll
What's
do
that?
my homework.
Grayson,
Hey.
it's Grayson Wood, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. Once again, I can't remember. Are you on social media or not?
Yeah, I'm on great social media, Facebook. Yeah,
Okay, so people can reach out to you that
Yeah.
way.
Grayson Wood Music. Yeah.
All right, tell your wonderful wife we said hello, and we appreciate the shot looking and sounding as good as it always does.
Well, I just I'm hope I didn't lose any fans.
Oh, I thought you did
Gained a
great.
few.
You did a great job.
Thank you, my friend. It's Grayson
Take
Wood,
care, guys.
everybody.
Eric, I'll see you down here when you come down. Give me a call.
I'll be down there in 2 weeks. We're playing the Aquapalooza,
Nice.
Love it.
whatever.
All
that
right,
is.
Grayson Wood. Yeah, that's what we try to do on Fridays. Have some of those show topics that
Yeah,
we don't
I-
normally talk about.
I thought it was
It is what
great.
it is.
Okay,
because
here's the thing.
It
Vic.
is what it is.
Here's the thing, Vic. Like you or anybody that's been a anchor on TV, you have to ask the pertinent question to where you demand proof, correct?
Yeah.
Or as an anchor, do you just let it go? Oh, okay. Well, that's nice to know.
Yeah,
The
I think
world's
we
flat.
have to ask, just like I cannot wait for 2 weeks from now with the Challenger, because I believed it. Like I believed, of course they died. And then you find out from so many people, they didn't really die, that they're alive and well and living somewhere else.
Where are they?
But I want to know, it's just the same thing as, Elvis Presley is still
Michael
alive.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yes. I mean, and JFK.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's an element of truth to some of this. I had a next door neighbor that he was not on the Challenger, but he was around the time of going to the moon. And way back then, he told me, and he was an astronaut, and he said, we didn't really go to the moon. So, I mean, this is like, I really love hearing stuff and finding
Well,
out.
there's a movie with Woody. Maybe it's not Woody Harrelson, but there's a movie that finally came out. It might be on Netflix. I don't know, but it's about the filming of the fake moon landing.
Right. And that's hard to understand. We don't want to be lied to.
And this is going to be thrown into the public psyche now.
Yeah.
So now there's going to be kids that are 8 years old that are going to remember a movie that they saw back when they were 8 years old about how we didn't actually get to the moon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think they wait a long time. They play us and they tell us these stories and then we believe it. And then 20 years from now, then they tell us, oh yeah, we were wrong the whole time, but they weren't wrong. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were playing with our psyche.
That's so
I know
weird.
it is.
I tell you what, I'm looking at the JFK assassination
Oh,
stuff.
God.
Of course
I'm
you
going to
are.
be doing that this afternoon.
I'm telling you.
I did always think that was weird. I always thought
It's
that was
so weird.
I thought it was blood.
It looks like the original Mark didn't hit his mark, so she had to finish the job. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
Well, he definitely got hit in the neck first.
Yeah, he definitely got hit in the neck first, and I think
Yes.
that's where she had to finish it off.
Isn't that interesting? I thought it was the government, and obviously she would be involved with the government.
I think
but
she was the safety. I think in case they missed their mark, she was the one who was supposed to finish the job. That's what it looks like. In this footage, I'm telling you, it's really weird.
I'm on board, guys, because I've been there. I've been to the library and the grassy knoll and all that stuff. You would have to be a 2024 caliber sniper with a sniper rifle, not one of these, Bolton whatevers.
Yeah.
And there's no footage of the guy in the grassy knoll at the other angle that that next shot would have had to have been taken at, with a full-on military sight that had that could hit a human head as it's moving at 30 miles an hour.
We need Donald Trump to be president because he said he'll release everything.
He said he will.
He said he's released a lot, but he said he will release the rest of it.
That's right. And he said
51?
somebody just told him it wasn't the right timing. So, but he said he's going to release it.
He did have a look of fear when someone said, "Are there aliens?" He kind of went, no, I don't think there's aliens. There was that weird look in his face, man.
I just had a pilot tell me the world is flat.
Oh no, you did not.
Yeah, I promise you.
What's his name and what's his
on my kids' lives? He is a pilot. His name is Bill, and that's as much as I can say right now. Promise you.
What airlines does he fly for?
Bill Airlines.
Bill Airlines. Is he a private? Is he private?
Well, the Mooney isn't getting around the Earth. I'll tell you that right now. Unless he's on a jet, he's not doing it.
Well, they lie even about planets, because one minute Pluto is a thing and the next minute Pluto is a star. I mean, they even lie about that. They lie about everything.
Come on, man.
They lie.
Eric, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
What the hell's where are the stars in the firmament?
We'll talk about it again, man.
You guys, we can have a good day today because we just know Donald Trump is the vice president. So everything else is great.
And Vladimir Putin is
taking on Vladimir Putin.
Is the president. There's no more war. There's no more war because he's now the president of Ukraine.
That's right.
He accomplished what he wanted.
Wow.
Well, we're going to have a good day today.
Fantastic.
Guys, have a great weekend. Eric, where are you guys playing this weekend?
We are at Cedar, the winery.
Cedar Lake Winery
Cedar
in
Lake
Wright
Winery.
City.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
The music
Great
series.
place.
Saturday night?
Yes.
Okay.
Saturday, 6 o'clock.
That's the best place to get a slushy while listening to
Projo.
Legends.
Have a great weekend. We appreciate you, man. For Projo and Eric Johnson, Lizzie Sparks, Vic Faust, that's affectionately the fastest 2 hours in podcast, canceltheshow.com. Like us, subscribe, check us out. We love you guys, and have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Yeah. Well, I won't. You will.
Just come on in on Monday. Just come on in.
I'll be here.